Hi everyone, this is Ramona Shah, and we're talking all things leadership. Now, yesterday I was teaching a class at a college about leadership and how to transition into a leadership career. And one of the attendees got up and asked a specific question, which I thought was great because we were talking about feedback, giving feedback and receiving feedback. And that woman said, I have a boss who's I really admire and I want to learn from him, but he doesn't give me feedback. And I've asked a couple of times and he's still not giving me feedback. And I'm not sure if he thinks maybe he's hurting my feelings or he doesn't want to cause conflict. But I really wished I could get more out of us working together and learning from him because he's successful and he's a really an inspiring leader. And I thought this was a great question because a lot of people avoid giving feedback for many different reasons or just don't think about giving feedback and find reasons why not to, consciously or unconsciously. And so their team members and the people working from them or with them, for them or with them, they're kind of deprived from that learning opportunity because feedback is the number one tool for improvement. It's how we get better. So if you're not giving feedback, we're actually depriving the team members, the other people, from getting better, being more successful in their job and in their role. But now we can't change other people. So it's all about what can we do in this specific situation, in this specific role to make the situation a little bit better. And here is the advice I gave to this lady. I said, okay, first question was, how did you ask your boss previously about giving you more feedback? And she said, I asked via email. I asked them for feedback. What should I start doing? What should I stop doing? What should I keep doing? Which is actually a great set of questions. So it's for her doing this and putting it into an email and using really smart questions, that was an awesome first step. But she didn't hear back. So a few months later, she tried again. She asked him again, and she thought maybe it just slipped his mind or he didn't see the email. But again, no response back. So my first advice is actually don't write an email, but say this in person. So find a situation, a moment in a one-on-one meeting or when you're having lunch or some place and situation that allows for honest feedback. And then as you ask, try to be very specific because people who avoid giving feedback have probably not thought about this, about what they want to say and give you feedback on. So if you ask a broad questions, which actually should I start, what should I stop, and what should I keep going is a very great question for people who are thinking in this feedback mindset. But for someone who isn't, you might get better results if you ask a specific question, such as, hey, I want to get better in my communication, especially as I'm presenting or as I'm speaking up in meetings. I feel that I ramble sometimes. What are some pieces of advice that you would have for me to get better at this? Now, I did two things. One, I made it really specific. I gave a couple examples so they can immediately put themselves into that situation and think of like, yeah, okay, I have the visual of what that looks like. I do remember that happened. And then they can give you some advice. The second thing I did is I didn't ask about something in the past. Like, how did I do? What did you like or not like about something that happened in the past? I made it forward looking, which is a term called feed forward. I asked for advice in the future. And that makes it a lot easier for people to give feedback on and give advice to because you're not hurting anyone's feelings if you look in the future and you give advice, right? It's different than giving feedback where you make a judgment on something. Feed forward is just here's a piece of advice, take it or leave it. And then as the recipient, the one thing to make sure is that you're not arguing whether that's a good advice or not. You're simply saying, thank you, that was helpful, or thank you, I will test that out, or thank you, I didn't think of that. Or simply, thank you, right? That's the only response really coming back because we want to be grateful for them even putting themselves in our shoes and giving us advice, whether or not we like that piece of advice. If you start arguing, there's a good chance that they'll not want to give us feedback or feed forward in the future. So these are my quick tips on what to do if you're in a situation that your manager or someone you work with and you would love to tap into their knowledge and figure out how they're doing things and you can possibly learn from it, but you're not getting enough feedback, these are the quick tips on how to get feedback or feed forward out of them and continue learning and improving as you do so. I'll see you soon. Another short episode like this. If you find this helpful and you know someone else who would benefit from hearing this message, please share and pass it on. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.